you were in the news this week, at least locally.
Me, really?
Yeah. Uh, you and Jamie Campbell, the Blue Jay and one of the Blue Jays pre and post, am I right? Announcers.
Yep.
Yeah, Michael, I'm not taking a shot at Jamie Campbell. I didn't know who Jamie Campbell was until like about 48 hours ago. So it does lead to the question of if you want to talk about the back and forth very quickly, he waved a broom in their post game after they swept the Yankees 4 games and directly took you on because I believe he misquoted you as saying to some degree that the Blue Jays aren't a first place team without giving the full scope of exactly what you did say that day. So my question is like, say whatever you want about the situation, but in some ways, you and I have had this discussion for 15, 20 years. Is it worthwhile to get in these back and forths? You're the guy who's kind of made it, Mike. Like yours, I mean, you're like what maybe my most successful friend. Like I think about your humble beginnings in the Bronx. You had a dream about being the Yankee broadcaster. How many people make that kind of dream and they're there? You're an inspiration to people who want to dream. Is it worthwhile to get into these back and forths?
It's a great question. And I thought about this a lot today. I always find myself in these situations and I'm damaged. I wish I didn't act like this. I wish I didn't have to react. But, I know you come from the same sort of humble beginnings as I do. And there's a lot of street in us and we want to fight back, especially when we feel that we were wronged. So the initial thing that started it was I had said about, the Pythagorean theorem that when you look at run differential, a record should be this or that. And I also said in that same time, it was on my radio show, that the Yankees are underachieving because with their plus minus, they should have about 5 or 6 more wins. And I was essentially saying that the Blue Jays are squeezing everything they can out of the slight run differential they have. I think when I said it, they were +1, that they should be about a 500 team. And they've overachieved. And people took that and ran with it as if I was dissing the Blue Jays. I was not. I said, technically the Blue Jays are not a first place team with these numbers. Jamie, who's a respected guy in Toronto, the thing that he said that got me was, do you have the guts to say that the Toronto's a first place team? And I said, well, I'm not a fawning fanboy. Of course I do. I mean, the Blue Jays are in first place. They kicked the Yankees' butts for 4 games. And then the broom thing, I just said, if Jack Curry did that on the YES Network, he'd probably be fired. But it's a different market. And I just look at Toronto as a big-time city. I mean, it's cosmopolitan. It's beautiful. It's one of my favorite cities in the entire world. And I said they turned it into Mayberry RFD. And maybe I went a little bit too up and in because Jamie then later last night, said, I've always had respect for Michael Kay. He survived in the toughest place to survive. And I just, that moved me that he would do that because who knows what they tell Jamie Campbell to do. It could be that's what they tell him to do. I mean, there are very few of these jobs. And I just wrote back, I said, that's a class move, Jamie. I hope that we could talk when I'm back in Toronto in 2 weeks. But just to get back to what you said, I am a damage freak. I wish that I didn't get into these fights. I wish that I could simply be a guy who does the game and just don't have Met fans coming at me and Blue Jay fans now. So now it's become international hate. It wears on you. It really does. But I was talking to Alan Hahn about it, who works at our station. And he said, it's because you have the radio show. If you were just on the Yankee games, you wouldn't be saying these things. You don't have to give opinions when you're the play-by-play guy. But I'm the guy on radio who gives opinions, and that rubs some people the wrong way.